Welcome everyone to today's meeting. So let's start today's April Procurement Club meeting. And today's topic is practical prompts in AI. As you may notice, the event will be in English, so not Lithuanian. Sorry, guys, but you can always write questions in Lithuanian. I will translate it to our guest. So I want to welcome Guillermo Tapia. He's the category manager, global category manager, and also AI enthusiast that build basically the prompting systems that we will later on see as a real case examples. I know that there are very difficult prompts and other prompts, and actually this topic came also from the first time when I met Guillermo, I think in January, when I tried his hard prompts and understood, okay, it's a lot of work to do to have these kind of prompts, to prepare them, to have all the data and everything. So so that's why this topic as well, because everyone is is trying to work with AI, but how to make it really work from the prompt point of view. So I think it's a very interesting topic. So Guillermo, welcome.
Thank you very much, Dominicus, and thanks everyone for taking the time to go through this session where we'll be talking about prompts, as you mentioned. Maybe if I introduce myself a little bit, Guillermo, I'm Mexican. I live in the Netherlands for the last more than 10 years. Most of my professional career has been in procurement. I've touched different categories, going from marketing, logistics, corrugated paper, plastics, packaging. And as Dominique has mentioned, I call myself AI enthusiast, AI aficionado, not AI expert. So I'm not, I don't have an educational background on that, but I've been trying to practice it a lot, which is going to be my first recommendation today. Practice is, it matters a lot.
Okay, so so Guillermo, so I think then we can start with the first question from my side is, so what is effective prompt in general? What kind of structure it has to have? Because I think we all see in the conferences, okay, please create the role and then you have something. So what are the other things that we have to take into consideration when we're talking about effective prompt that would really give us, not a lot of mist there?
So you will see a lot of infographics, a lot of content, for example, on LinkedIn on how to make a good prompt. You will see people will tell you it changes between different models that you are using. So you should treat it differently. But what I like to say is you should treat it as a consultant. Yeah. So for example, if you have a consultant that's coming to your company and you want that consultant to do something for you, you would have to explain properly. Yeah. The context. Yeah. What do you expect from them? What information are you giving? What information do you expect back? So, and also you can even mention how the deliverable that they will give to you, what's a good example and what's a bad example. So those are the main things I would say. It's the role you have to tell the AI. You are a marketing director. You are a procurement professional. Even within procurement professional, you can say you're a junior buyer or you're a CPO. So you need to be quite specific on the role, on the context. You also need to provide, because the output of the AI is going to vary depending if you say, I am a small company in Mexico versus I am a huge company in France. Yeah, so the output is going to vary depending on the context that you are providing. The information, you can also be very specific on the sources that you expect. Yeah, so I want you to search here specifically, or I want you to avoid searching, I don't know, in this website because maybe it's I don't trust it so much. So that's where I would focus the most.
Okay, and then as you know, in order to ask the correct questions, you have to be smart enough to be able to think about these questions, right? So from your experience, do you think that there is needed some kind of specific competences or the way of thinking that helps to create better prompts?
I would say that if you are certain of what you want, you can just go straight to asking that, with the proper um, information that the AI needs. If you are not certain of what you expect to receive, it's always good to have a chat. It's the same thing with AI. You can start asking questions. It's I call it the $1 million tip when it comes to AI usage. It's just ask. I was having a session um, some time ago with some colleagues that were asking me about tips, and then just telling them why you don't ask. Why are you asking me? Yeah, of course I can tell you, um, but you also have a really nice tool that can guide you through it.
Okay. Okay. So now you reached, I think, or you touched on one of the topic is that most people talk with the AI, but not the direct of what they want. So, from your experience, how should this evolve? Let's say start with the very clear rules and then try to talk going on, or further, or first of all talk and then. So, what is the best way from your experience? To have talking or directions or how?
For me, you differentiate it indeed in those two, either talking or instructing.
Mm,
Yeah, the AI. So when it comes to talking, for me, it's something more on the brainstorming, creative side of it, when you don't really know what you want, and then you talk through it. Like, I would like to launch an RFP, but I'm new to the category. I don't know what things matter here. And then the AI will start telling you, okay, these are the 5 things that matter for your category. And then you start going deeper. Okay, but what should be the clauses maybe, or what are the important things that I shouldn't miss in this document? And then you walk through it. You start asking questions, and your knowledge in that regards keeps growing. Yeah, but it's a creative
mhm,
discussion. Um, when you go into the instructing side, it's for something where you expect the output, you expect it to be similar every time that you ask something. Yeah, when you have repeatable tasks, when you are processing something, and when you already know how the outcome should look like. So when I know that I want to launch an RFP in that category, but I'm already an expert on that category. I can already say, please deliver me an RFP letter with these 5 things. Tailor it to the Lithuanian market. Add any Lithuanian regulation that should matter to that supplier. Um, and by the way, I only want these things. Yeah. So I am instructing it, but the interesting thing there, it's maybe I have another category, and the only thing I want to change, it's maybe the category name. So I am doing an instruction. I have a placeholder for the category, but I'm gonna be launching exactly the same thing, but for a different category. So you change that exactly. That's how I would divide speaking versus instructing.
mhm, mhm.
For
Okay.
it.
Because from my experience, how I work with AI, if we can say it's work, right? But okay, let's call it work, right? So, okay, when you give instructions, at some point you start talking with uh, him, it, I don't know how to call it. Let's say call it, right? And because it does not deliver what is needed. And then you start asking, okay, so what's wrong? And then suddenly from the instructions you go to the a long conversation of why it's something wrong. So is it the correct way that I'm doing, or I should do somehow else it?
I would say you need to have your baseline. Yeah. So
Mm,
let's say if you want to go into instruct mode, you have your baseline, you send it, it comes back, and it's not what you wanted. I see a lot of people tend to blame the AI for not receiving what they wanted.
mm,
But then if you look, uh, uh, maybe it didn't tailor it the way that you wanted because you didn't say it. So you have your baseline, you receive the output, it's not the output that you were expecting, and then you're going to ask the question, You're gonna say, "Oh, you missed to add the list of suppliers," and then you send it. It's gonna add the list of suppliers. It's okay to keep talking through it until you get the desired output. But what you need to do in the end, or at least practice that I suggest, is you go through it again, and you will realize that you were instructing it every single time with the stuff to reach the output that you wanted. That means that you need to go back to your baseline, take all these extra inputs that you did during your conversation, and add it into your baseline. So the next time that you try the same prompt for that repetitive task, you must receive the output already from the beginning. And you know, I tend to say also that humans never get satisfied. Yeah. Now I'm receiving and I'm building stuff that I see at it, and I always have improvements. But if I would have received that thing, or if I would have been able to build that thing 5 years ago, it would have been like God level. So humans tend to always improve, which is good. So, but it's important you keep that baseline if it's for a repetitive task.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now I understood it, because I never come back. I always ask him to summarize the output, but of course it always miss something. Okay, but it's a very good tip from my side. Okay, so I know that we will have some examples there and showing how to do it. So before jumping it, I think we need to touch one very important topic about the data that we feed to the AI, right? So is there any way or form that AI understands better the data, or what would be your recommendations? Because, for example, I had experience where I uploaded 100 pages and understood that he didn't read the middle of it. It read the beginning and in the end, and somewhere in the middle, he lost its all information there.
Indeed. So, for example, when you are talking about documents or big tasks, I think what we need to understand is that AI will, from my point of view, will always try to take shortcuts. Maybe it's trying to be efficient, yeah, with its use. So we need to understand first, AI will take shortcuts. Second, AI are limited by context windows. So it can be that it's never going to take, disregarding of how you do it, it's never going to take your 100-page document. Yeah. So then you need to be creative about what you do with it. It's the same thing. Like I've tried it, for example, with a very big Excel file where I said, okay, I want to build my own small agent where I can go and ask information. I made all the columns perfectly well explained. I created a tab with Excel explaining what each column is. I made it perfectly beautiful, but it had a lot of information. And the third thing we need to understand is that companies may limit it also on purpose. Yeah, because AI, when you have a lot of people, AI can be very expensive. So also maybe companies can limit what your model can do. And finally, there is a wide range of models, and even within the models, submodels that work in different ways. Yeah. So for example, if you have the ChatGPT free version and you put a 100-page document, you're gonna get something back. If you use Claude Pro version, you're gonna get something very, very different. And even within the Pro version, if you are using X model, let's call it Sonnet versus Opus, you're gonna get very different responses and outputs. So I would say if you are not getting the desired output with the data that you're providing, you can also ask, because that's how I figured it out. I asked the AI, you are not giving me the right information. I already gave you the file. I already made it pretty beautiful, digestible for you, and you are still not using it. And then after asking what was wrong, he told me, well, I'll be honest to you, I'm stopping at row 10,000. Yeah, at row 10,000, I'm done. So anything that it's above 10,000, so this was spend analysis, and then yeah, I could sum up until row 10,000. was giving me the right information based on that. And then it just told me, yeah, it's my capabilities that have been limited, or this is what I can do. Then you have to think differently. Maybe you divide the data in different files, and then you can ask AI to put everything together.
Okay. So I think you have a little bit better AI, because my AI usually tells that I will try again, but it it never says that I
Never
will
tried.
stop at line of 10,000. Okay, Guillermo. So let's call it a little bit as a short introduction, a little bit of how it was, and I think we can jump to the first practical things of how these prompts look like, difficult ones, what is needed there. So I know that you have prepared the presentation. So yeah, please show us how we can improve.
So what I have now, it's a very short presentation of 4 different use cases. Then we can jump into the procurement library.
Okay.
And then we can jump into the procurement tools. That's okay for you?
Okay, good.
Perfect. Please let me know if you can see the screen.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Good. I will go into slideshow. Does it show as a slideshow? Perfect.
Okay.
So we're going to walk through 4 different examples. These are just some examples that I thought it was interesting for the community today. You can see the examples are going to be very simple ones. So these are going to be very simple prompts. And then on the prompt library, we can go into something deeper. Yeah.
Okay.
But they work. So basically what you see here on the left side and you will see on the right side, it's the prompt versus the response that should be expected from the AI. This is what I did. I ran it through it. So spend categorization. And again, I'm oversimplifying it because I'm pretty sure that also for us, we will have Excel files with thousands of data, as I just mentioned. And then if you're not getting the right thing, then it's matter of also maybe breaking it in chunks for the AI to properly analyze it. Yeah. So I'm saying you are an analyst. I need you to do this. So that's the role, the context, then the instruction on what they should be doing. How do you expect the output to be? You expect it to be in a clean table. If there is something that they don't understand, please mark it and also flag if there are duplicates. Then you paste your data, which would be, let's say, these 10 rows of supplier. AI should go through it, should tell you the type of spend, should tell you the category where it falls, and then it should flag if potentially it's duplicate with another company. Yeah. Now, with AI, you need to be super careful. Yeah. I personally wouldn't just take the output from the AI response. It's very helpful to do things, but you always need to review it. So maybe it went through the web. It searched about Clypedia logistics. I mean, the name it's a little bit giving away already some information. CleanPro as well, Tech World as well. So, but maybe sometimes there are companies that are doing 2 different things, 2 different services. So then you need to see why it's categorizing it in one of those. So it's not going to be perfect. It's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. But maybe you can, that's what I said. Maybe I will not feel comfortable with this. And I will go back to my prompt and I will say in the prompt, on the instruction, please mention also what made you select this category. And then it's going to be an e-column that's going to say clypedialogistics.com mentions that their services are in logistics, freight forwarding, or whatnot. So, and it's going to give you a link. You can ask for sources, but again, it's about improving your prompt.
Okay.
Always. Then, please you let me know if there is any question or anything. I just
Of
go
course.
through them. Then the second one would be the contract risk review. This is once again quite a simple one. In this one, you are not telling it, this is my PDF. You could also do it, but this one, let's say I'm going back to the simplicity of it,
Mm.
just putting 5 contract clauses that maybe are the ones that your company is the most interested on all the time. Then you say, again, role, context, the task, how you want the output to be. And also you can give an extra instruction on please focus on these specific things. You paste the clauses, and then it's going to tell you why it is a risk. If it's a risk, it's going to tell you how it is today, and it's going to tell you an alternative to negotiate. Yeah, for example, auto renewal, 180 days. In a 2-year contract, you get locked. If you don't do it, then maybe you want to change that specific part. So again, here you don't say deliver it as a table. I mean, of course, I did it a little bit nicer
Mm.
for the presentation. Maybe you would just get it in simple text, but you can say, do me a table, deliver it as an Excel, uh, color code it, or whatnot.
Yeah, and I think with the contracts we have to make this a disclaimer, right? So if you use free versions, you should not share any information about your company in general from the security point of view, commercial value, and all these things. In the paid versions, although everyone tends to say that you are working in your own cloud only and you are not giving the information to everyone, but I still always reduce the level of information that could in some case to do it. So I think it's an important disclaimer because I think it's still an issue in most
Of
cases.
course, no, 100%. Please follow the advice from your IT. Even if you are in the paid version, it's still being trained. The model is still being trained. It's still taking all your information. Only enterprise versions would be have that option. Agreed with your IT to not be trained on it. So always be very cautious on the information that you are sharing and follow your IT guidance.
Negotiations.
Third one, and this is just quite a simple one. So it's not, let's say, preparation, give me my BADNA, my SOPA, tell me which model I should follow. No, it's just, I received an email, the supplier is asking for this is the context. You can mention the tone on how you want to approach this discussion with the supplier and your main goal of that discussion. It will create it for you. So this is a little bit more on the creative side. This is where you could, for example, start talking about it. You will receive the email and maybe you can say, no, I want something stronger. And then it's going to make it stronger. Or no, now it's stronger, but make it summarized. It's going to make it shorter. This is where you can play a little bit more with the creativity. This has been, I mean, I use it quite a lot, even on the personal side. I have one small personal example there where my car was had something outside of guarantee, but it was a safety issue, and this was gonna cost me about 5K to replace. And I just asked AI. I put all the policies of that auto brand. I explained my case, showed everything, my concerns, and I asked it to help me negotiate that due to safety reasons and because this is something that was foreseeable for the company, they should cover. It created it. I sent it to the German headquarters and it worked. So that
Hey.
was pretty helpful. I think I already paid with that one a few years of my licenses.
Very nice. But the question is, when I'm writing the emails with the AI, I always feel that I can get an answer also from AI. So it's always for me a little bit, the way that I try to do it, at least, is to when you train it with your data. So I always write it, please write an email in my style as I would write. So it gives a little bit, not that corporate feeling and all these things. So at least in my case, it helps a little bit
Yeah,
to
of
make
course,
it.
and in a lot of models, you can already give the instructions at the very, like, in your settings. This is how I like to write. This is who I am. I don't like fluffy stuff. I like to be direct. For example, you can also ask to remove these ones. the long M dashes, because now everything seems to be long M dashes with AI. You can say I don't like to write with those. On my side, personally, for example, I one instruction I always give, it's I say, I am not a native speaker. Please don't use fancy words. Yeah, because I am not, and it sounds strange. So now I'm giving you like a presentation, and you see I'm not using like super fancy words. I'm not a native speaker. I can speak English, okay, but it would be strange to you if you receive a communication super long using super fancy words that doesn't sound like me.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's the point.
I also like to give that instruction. Then finally, a supplier scorecard um, for IT managed services. Again, role, context, what you want, how you want it, and the output, how you want it. So it's a scorecard table ready for evaluation. Maybe you can say deliver it to me in Excel with clickable cells. So it's gonna make it clickable. You know that it can select the cell. Um, then if you like the output, you can go a step further and you can say, okay, build me the averages and build me the file. And then you take it to the next step, build me a spider graph, maybe, or maybe build me a file for 5 suppliers and do the comparison. So that's another thing that I think it's important to mention. Maybe you see a lot of content potentially on LinkedIn or your social medias of stuff that people are creating that are amazing. You can get there, but also you can start small and go from small to amazing. Yeah. So it's not like in one shot you should get an amazing Excel file. Maybe you can start small and you can keep building on that to come up to a an amazing Excel file that works very well for you.
Okay. And is there any agents or companies that works better with output in Excel and the ones that works better in, I don't know, in other things? Because for example, from my experience, I tend to see that, for example, Gemini works better with Excel than ChatGPT, but maybe it's just my case,
So um, from my what I like to say, it's first of all, go to paid model.
Yeah,
Yes
of
or
course.
yes, go
Mm.
to paid model. Yeah, and I say it because I'm always surprised. I even made a post about it because I encounter a lot of people that tell me AI doesn't work, or I tried this and it gave me a very bad response. So they tend to trash it a lot. And then I ask them, are you paying for it? And no, they are on the free version. So, okay, that's the first thing. That's why, even though it seems obvious, I like to make that comment. Use a paid version. Then the second comment is that these things keep changing a lot. Yeah. At the beginning, I was very much into ChatGPT. Then I went a lot to Gemini. Gemini for me it was like top of the top when it comes to making infographics, something visual, videos, animations, and then now Claude is taking over everything. Yeah, Claude is just going after every company. They are shipping new tools every week, so it's even difficult to keep up with
Mhm.
the pace of that these guys are shipping things.
Okay,
I
so
personally am a Claude fan.
mm,
For everything, Excel's, PowerPoints, anything. I'm a fan, Claude, but I also used to be a fan of ChatGPT. So maybe tomorrow it will change, but
okay.
today it's Claude for me.
Okay, so thank you for this comment. So, but you mentioned a little bit one thing, the technology evolves so fast that it's very hard to catch up, basically. And if you are not basically 100% in it, so while you uh, learn how to work with Gemini, now it's suddenly Claude. But when I will start working with Claude, I will finally understand who it works, then I will have to switch, I don't know, to some kind of maybe Chinese version of something, right? So, but maybe there is another way in this way. So, I can always try to make my own prompts and everything, or we can switch to, let's say, to other smart guys that are in many groups, in WhatsApp groups, in Facebook group, and everywhere, right? So, what is your attitude here? Is it better for me to be, how I say, just a user, I search for prompts, I try to work with them, I adapt them, and that's it? Or it's better to try to create by yourself? What is your
My opinion is
um,
it's always good to get inspiration from other people. I follow a lot of content creators. I get inspired. I also follow a lot of news sites. So as I said, it's even difficult to keep up. But I like to follow because maybe from the 10 things that I will learn today, one will stick to me and one will help me a lot. Same thing, maybe you will see a lot of content. Maybe one of the prompts that you see will work for you. You take it. Yeah. So I'm not saying that you should only take from them or you should only build from your side, but it's nice to be inspired. And then you tailor it to your needs. So it's like when you're cooking, you want to cook something new, you go and you pick up a recipe. And after you use it, maybe the first time you follow it, perfectly fine, but it's not up to the taste that you wanted. Then you will modify it a little bit and you will make it yours. That's how I like to see a little
yeah,
bit on the
I
prompting.
think, yeah, I think it's a very perfect example of how we should case. Okay, learn and then improve it. Very good. So before moving to this more difficult prompts and how they really work and to show it, right? So what is your experience? Is it difficult to coordinate all AI things with IT department? Because it's also they have many different attitudes toward paid, not paid versions, what we can be input and everything and everything. So if talking about the procurement, right? So is it, from your experience, is it more difficult to convince IT that we should use AI, some kind of tools or something, or it's better to go from the personal perspective and then try to work on, let's say, best case scenarios?
Yeah, well, as we said, I will not speak for my company. For the company I
Yeah.
work for, they have their own, let's say, rules, and the main thing for your company will be to follow the rules. Because when it comes to IT, um, it's not that they want to limit you. It's not that they want you to go slow. It's not that they are against all the tools that you may bring from the market. When it comes to IT, their main role, I mean, the main role that they have is to secure the company. Yeah, and that's anytime that you may bring something to them, their first response is, or their first thought, I assume, it's how can this bring risk and complexity to our operations? Because in the end, if your company, it's the core of your company, it's to I don't know, create robots.
Mm.
Everything, like everyone in the company should be focusing on that. Then if you start bringing complexity into their architecture and there are more vulnerabilities, and then of course they will see everything as a risk. So they will ask, is this going to help us to the core of the company? No? Okay. Then we park it and then we can evaluate maybe later on if you have a really good use case, if you have, if the tool is going to help a lot your function. So that's always the fine
Okay.
line, I would say, to work with IT. But main thing is follow anything that they are telling you to follow.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
of course.
also us as procurement, our main role is
Mm.
to keep the company secure.
Yeah,
The same
of
way that
course.
it's bringing supply security from procurement side, they need to bring it from the IT side.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's a very good attitude here. Okay, so I think we can move to the second part of our meeting about the difficult prompts there. And I know that you also have prepared some samples there, so please show us what
Yeah.
are the difficult ones.
So I will walk you a little bit from the procurement history of what how it started. So it started from we saw a gap between people having the right tools, as we said. So for example, Copilot, ChatGPT, they all had the right tools, but they were still using it for very simple stuff. Then we said, okay, how can we show to the people what are all the use cases available? So if you go to the site here, and this is for everyone, of course, it's free. You can go to the library, the code, you can use procurement AI here, and you should be able to access the library. Yeah. What you see with the library, it's just prompt of hundreds of, a prompt library of hundreds of prompts for different categories.
And I want to say to everyone, I tried these prompts. They are challenging actually to collect the data. I immediately admit it. It's not easy ones, but at least I did a few ones. I mean, I was surprised about the results. So it's really worth to do that. So please, guys, check it really.
Thank you, Dominicas. So indeed, these are, let's say, I would call it a higher level than what we just saw in the presentation. It's divided by subtopics. So within the direct materials, you can go to supplier performance. Okay, I want to have, let's say, on-time delivery tracking. You will see the prompt here, yeah? And you will be able to copy and then plug it into your main tool. This is what we have when it comes to the free prompt library that we are providing to the community. We always like to give to the community. Still not finalized, yeah? So maybe if you're in professional services, this will come soon.
Yeah, and I also think one thing is not only the prompt you will find here, but you also have the template of Excel, how the data has to be prepared in order to upload it in this one. So I think it's very helpful here because sometimes we have the good prompts, but not the correct data. So here is really, I mean, I was really, yeah, it's really good ones.
Thank you. And what we wanted to unlock, it was, of course, here are the prompts, these are the examples, but really for people to unlock or get inspired. So the one that I'm the most proud is this one, yeah? So this left column, this left part of the website is the main use cases, I would say. Marketing and media, okay, when can you use it? Scope of work. So if you're working in marketing, how can I define my scope of work? And then you go into this subtopic prompts, and then you can put them into practice. And again, this may seem very big, but you use, going back to the analogy of the recipe of food, take it, go through it, remove anything that doesn't make sense to you, use it for the first time, see the output, improve it, see the output, improve it, and you can just start building the own things that work for you. This is, of course, if you send me a note in LinkedIn, if you forget or if you cannot find the recording again, always feel free to reach out to me. You go to this page, you go to the bottom, you go to the library, and also in there you will see my LinkedIn if you want to connect afterwards as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think then we can immediately jump to the advanced, or let's say more advanced, or the ones, or for the people that really don't want to copy, create Excels and all this. Okay, we will need still to create Excels, right? But I know that we have this another, let's say pro version of it that is for the ones that really want to have the results faster. Let's say so.
Indeed. So as I said, we started with the free library that it evolved as a project. It grew a lot with the procurement community, so it got a lot of interest. And then after thinking about it, then I co-founded this one with a colleague, Amin, that it's in charge of creating AI tools for enterprise inside his company. Yeah, so he knows how everything should be set up to make sure that that it's safe for users. And the main thing is that we said, okay, people have the tools, people have the prompts, and still they are not really maybe they are still fearing the use of AI, because even after preparing the free prompt library, sharing with people were still coming back to me like, yeah, but I still don't see any use case for procurement. So we decided to challenge ourselves and then said, how can we make it even easier for the people? So we took all those prompts, all the important workflows from procurement, and we supercharged it. And we created 6 different workflows. One second. Okay, so we created 6 different workflows for procurement people to use. So it's really people that have worked in procurement, that have gone through these challenges. We really try to look deep dive into which kind of workflows deliver the most value. We can create these tools, and we can make it ready for companies and for people to use. So we have the 6 tools are the prompt builder. So I will walk through it very quickly because I know that we don't have a lot of time. So basically what's going on in this tool, it's you can ask what you want and it will create a great prompt for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's the AI for creating prompts, right? If I
Yes.
understand correctly. Okay.
So let me see if I can. So it created this one here. And then it creates this prompt where I said I want to create a prompt for supply and interdependency and risk vulnerability analysis framework. I do not know a lot about it, so please give me the prompt to do something great. It does the prompt, and then it analyzes how good the prompt is based on everything that the prompt should have for it to work well with AI. Yeah, so it evaluates it and it tells you why it works and why it doesn't work, and how it can be best used. Second one, this is one that we are super proud of because we're able to bring it to the procurement community. It's something that honestly you cannot find somewhere else. You can find similar stuff at 100 times the price. So what we do here in this negotiation simulation tool, you are going to be giving the context to the AI for any kind of negotiation that you have linked to procurement. So all of these steps are already linked to procurement stuff. It's not like for everything. This is very specific in procurement, and it's very detailed context that is going to help AI to behave the way that you want it to behave, because it should be the way that your supplier is behaving. Yeah. And also you will give the context on the market, on the power balances, on your objectives, on what you think are the most objectives from your supplier. You can even go all the way to sharing about the tone of the supplier. Yeah. The archetype of the supplier. Is it someone that's super aggressive? They are detail oriented. They don't share information. So the AI is going to take all of this information, all this context, and you're going to be able to run a negotiation. It can be through, let's say, text or also voice. You finish the negotiation. As you can see here, I had a negotiation. I just opened one that I already have for you not to have to go through everything. So you go through the negotiation. It's going to tell you it's if you give the details of it being super strong, it's like it gets really, really close to the negotiation, really. Then you build
I
a
know,
report.
I know you had a real story for this one, for this case.
For which one? Sorry.
You were talking me how this preparation help you to act in real negotiations, actually, in
It
in your
really
present
helps.
company.
Really, it really helps. I used it. One of the times that I used it, it was post negotiation, just to see also and evaluate myself how I did and what I missed. Of course, it was not, let's say, one to one of how the supplier reacts, but it was super close.
Mm.
And then after I got the report, you really see what things you did well, what you could have improved. And the main thing for this one, Dominicas, this specific example, it opened my eyes onto how helpful the tool could have been if I would have used it before the negotiation. So
Okay.
it's just really it changes a lot. Of course, you see here an overall score of the negotiation very poor, because in the end I was just playing with it. Yeah. So if you go through the report, you will say that I was just saying no, I don't accept. This is not good. I was threatening. I was like really bad negotiator as a buyer. So that's why you get that score. You will see what you missed. For example, they were offering you maybe something and you didn't take it in return. Maybe some stuff that you could have said better. Some plans if case you're gonna continue the negotiation, and also a supplier point of view on how they see you as buyer. They saw me as unprepared, not honest, no internal alignment. Yeah. And by the way, they feel that they won big time on this negotiation, which is true. I didn't negotiate anything here. So it was just, testing the tool. The other one we're super, super proud of, it's the contract intelligence, which is, as the name says, very in-depth contract checks. Yeah, it goes all the level to separating the clause by clause. Link to the comment that we had at the beginning, Dominicas, that sometimes the tools just decide to stop checking. Yeah, and they take shortcuts. So we go all the way to the level of analyzing and separating the contract into different clauses to analyze the clauses itself. So, for example, I created a draft contract for bottles where it's very tailored to the supplier and where it's very tailored to the buyer. So, for example, if I open this is the supplier one, and I open the detailed analysis, because I ask it to review it as a buyer, you're gonna see that it has a lot of high flag, high risks. It's just telling me like this contract, be very careful. Yeah, you can go into scope and exclusivity. It's gonna tell you this is your clause. It's gonna tell you this is the expert commentary from the AI. So based on what we read, this is why it's wrong. These are the flags that we saw. And by the way, this is what we suggest you do. Yeah, either delete it and why you should delete it. You can get your overview, you can download PDF reports. So really it saves tons of time. And it's not only on the productivity of time saved, but also on the risk that you're removing from the company. Because sometimes when you're doing contracts and maybe you have to do some firefighting and you have 3 things flying around you, maybe you don't put the focus that you should be putting, and maybe just one simple word changes the meaning of a clause against you. So it's a tool that's super interesting. Do we still have some more time, Dominicas?
I think we still have about up to 10 minutes, so it's okay.
One tool where we've gotten a lot of interest from people is the supplier discovery. I'll give you an example. You can ask. Here I was asking, searching for laptops with 32 gigabytes RAM in LATAM. Please give me a list of 20 suppliers. It runs the analysis. You can see very high level information. Then you can run a deep dive. That's let's say that's extra thing that it can do. So for example, this one I already ran a deep dive, and it did the deep dive because then it goes, as the name says, deeper into more information. What are the key contact people? What are their customers, their main markets? What do they sell? If it finds information on financial health, if it finds information on ESG, sustainability, any recent news, it gives you, and it gives you also all the sources. If you have to send a one-pager to any stakeholder, it can, let's say, create a one-pager for you. You send it, and that's the tool. Of course, you can save it. You can say, okay, I contacted it, draft an email based on what I asked, because maybe I asked very specific things. So it drafts an email for reaching out to them. You find the contacts, and then you will be able to save the list. This one I see very interesting because as a manager, you of course want your teams to make sure that they always invite relevant parties from the market. Sometimes finding those relevant parties, you may know them from by heart, but even in my experience, it has happened that even knowing very well the category, after running a tender, you realize that you miss maybe not one of the main players, but one player that could have played an important role in your tender.
Okay.
So it gives you that certainty that you're searching everyone. The RFQ analyzer, as the name says, you can run the analysis. I don't have here the examples. I didn't plug it, and I'm in a different laptop. Apologies for that. But the idea is that you will drop your files here. You will mention on the scorecard what things are important from you. The interesting thing of this tool is that it can take PDFs, Excels, Word, text files, whatever. Because sometimes a supplier will send you their proposal in a PDF, sometimes they will send it to you in Excel, someone will do it on a PowerPoint, and it will extract all the information from those ones, score them against your scorecard, and give you the result. And also you can plan you can get a one-pager for this one.
Okay. I have to ask, will this work also in Lithuanian language?
It should.
Okay.
It should. It should. Yeah, because let's say that would be the backbone. So it would understand that everything you're asking it's in Lithuanian language.
Okay.
It's the backbone. It's the same way that if you send it today to your Gemini, it should understand it. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't tested it honestly.
I'll test it.
The tool.
I'll test it and I will let you know.
Awesome. We are launching the tool pretty soon now in different languages. So we will be launching, but that's more for the front end. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is another one that we're like super proud of. It's a slide deck builder, which you share what your deck is about. You share more information, more context. You say which audience, so it can be your procurement leadership team, can be your VP, can be your team. You adjust the tone and you adjust the style of the presentation. So we already have pre-filled some styles, so it looks different every time that you want, depending on your styles. Yeah. Then in terms of the slides, slide count, you can also say I want 5, or you can leave it auto based on what you're sharing. Maybe it's gonna, if you're saying one pager, of course it's gonna do it 1. But if you say very wide, maybe it's gonna auto decide, or you say no, I really need 5 slides. Then it will generate a plan. So I'm not gonna do it because this one takes. This is one of the tools that takes time in all transparency, because it does a lot of effort in the background. It generates a plan. You approve the plan, and then it creates a presentation. Then, so this is, for example, this is one I prepared already. I was asking for use cases in strategic sourcing, so deep spend classification. It created everything end to end.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% images, background, decided how to place it, and you can see here the content. Yeah. If there is something that you don't want, you can rewrite it, so you can rework it. So this one, maybe I don't like the colors, or I don't like that you're talking about taxonomy, maybe go deeper into the taxonomy part. Yeah, and then you can rework that one. So you see that it maintains a consistent style across the whole presentation, and this is something that's very easy to do quite quickly, versus if I have to do it myself. And it also looks more professional, and that's something that it's quite interesting point of view.
Okay, so Guillermo, I want to ask you one thing. So I think everyone looks at these prompts fine, and the main question now is how much it costs, right? So I know the answer, but I want that you would answer it, because from my perspective, it's really, really, let's say, affordable.
Yeah. So well, first of all, again, thank you very much for inviting us. I would like to give to your community. I'm not sure how you would like to distribute it, or how we can do a communication on that. So to the attendants of this session, I would like to give them 1,000 credits. So they sign up, I can give 1,000 credits, they can test it, they can see if it's something that works for them. When it comes to the price, honestly, it's we were debating on this one. So signing up, it's for free. You get an amount of credits to test it. If you are part of the Lithuanian community, I will give you more to test it.
Okay.
And then we have different plans. The starter pack, of course, all the plans are linked to the amount of credits that you get per month. And the amount of credits depends on your usage. Yeah, it can be that you only need it for 2 contracts per month. It can be that you need 20 contracts per month, depending on the needs that you have. But plans go from 15 euros, 40 euros, and 99 euros per month. And you can always top up credits if that month tends to be a busy one, for example.
Okay, so basically this means that we can cancel our Gemini paid version. We can pay 15 credits, and if we don't use enough a lot, we will basically have a special kind of version for procurement specifically tool, right?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dominicas. Indeed, it's something that we will keep developing, yeah, because we're getting already quite some good feedback from the market. So we will keep developing more within those tools, and we will keep developing new tools. So, for example, the next tool that we will be launching, it's going to be the supplier risk discovery, where you can put name of your supplier, and then it will run different searches. If maybe the supplier it's under financial distress, maybe the supplier it's on court discussions that are quite heavy. Maybe they are being sued by other employees. Maybe they are being sued by I don't know, different companies. Maybe they are in troubles. So it's gonna run all these searches in the background for you, and it will flag you where it is. So it was just an example to say we keep finding workflows, use cases, we keep developing it, and also even the own tools that we have, we keep improving within those tools.
Okay, so it will be my almost last question because we have a few minutes left. So I invite our listeners to ask the questions still while we're here. And in the meantime, my last question would be for you. So even with the paid tools or not paid tools, right? So what is still the common mistake that people do when creating prompts and asking for the information? If you could say the most general that we could, if we could change it, the output would dramatically better.
I would say it is giving up too fast. It's not an advice on how to make better prompts, but really this is where I see people they give up too fast. They open it, they use one prompt, they don't get what they want, and then they stop. But if you keep going, if you keep improving, if you keep learning, then of course the output is gonna get way better. So that would be my main advice. Don't stop too fast.
Okay, good. I see already people tried to see and it has some kind of not the correct, maybe the link of where to go. So after the event, I can share immediately the link where it should be. I think how we distribute these extra credits from our community, I think, do we talk about this some kind of promo code that we can have it, or it will be some kind of different way?
So the topic on the promo code is that they would only get them if they sign up or a paid version.
Okay.
So in order to avoid it, they can sign up. I will find them. I will make sure that they get the credits.
Okay, good. So guys, if you're here, so it's the good way to do it, to have it more, let's say, sandbox playing in this kind of field. Okay, so last minute to ask for the questions, and if not, so for me personally, it was very interesting topic because really, I mean, it's everyone is talking about it, but when it comes to reality, it's very hard to, as you mentioned, to have these real use cases how to do it, and it has a lot of with the way how we do it, on the way how we prepare it. Is it Excel? Is it all these things? But I think from my perspective, I also get a few topics that I would like to improve myself. So thank you very much for joining us. And are there any questions? If not, okay. So I don't see. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any questions. I see thank you for everyone. So really, thank you very much, Guillermo. It was really a pleasure to have you here on board. So, and I wish you all of us a nice day, and we'll keep in touch next month.